I'm Dane Rose. Art is high on the hierarchy of human needs. If we look at survival, security, love and belonging, a sense of self-esteem, we don't get to, it takes until this fourth level of developing personal gifts and realizing our potential before art really comes into its own. And in a culture that has many people at level 1, level 2, and even people with lots of money not feeling a sense of love and belonging, it passes by the wayside. As a result, art is undervalued in our culture and poorly funded. And so my own strategy around this has been to develop a landscape design, build and contracting company that makes the money that can pay me as an artist to play around. I've formed a nonprofit that I work on about 6 months of the year, about 4 months of the year full time, and donate money from my contracting business to basically allow me to play around in the domain of human well-being, not for profit, but to benefit the species. And I wanted to make a couple of opportunities available to you, so calling all artists. The domains of play within what is a synesthetic art project. Basically, in a lot of the time that I've set aside to do nonprofit work, I've been focusing on synesthetic content. So drawing together a lot of different forces with the underlying focus on intelligence. Intelligence being the efficiency with which time, money, and energy is transformed into human sustainable well-being. And this takes us into some of the areas of our cult's taboos. So sexual abuse, trauma, emotional illiteracy, relational illiteracy, huge topics that affect human well-being that are put into a little black box and said, we don't talk about those in this cult. We don't teach these in school. And so I've focused a lot on these black box taboo areas. And in terms of bringing in more of soul, of spirit, of uniqueness, of art and life, talking heads like this can get a little bit much, particularly, after a couple of hours. But look at all the different art forms there are that can speak in parallel, in substitution, in complementation to this, which is an art form, the art of putting patterns into language. So we have filming, we have editing, we have drawing, we have montaging, we have singing, we have programming, as in app design and web page. We have writing articles. We have energy medicine, moving, dance, painting, animating, whiteboarding, telling the story through whiteboard, poetry, creating music for and about a topic, and just emotional talking. This is how this felt to me. And in a growing virtual world, this can be done, this is a Note 9 phone with front-facing camera, microphone right above here, and one of my landscapes as a felt print backdrop in an apartment in Thailand that is dedicated to art and film, where I turn on 2 switches, a few thousand watts go into the room, and I press record. And it's as simple as that, as a setup for either recording painting, to paint a painting as a talk is being given. If there's a 1-hour video and you want to paint the ideas and the feelings, you just sit down and paint. And at the end of the talk, your painting is done. Now we have a much more interesting dimension of dialogue and conversation. And so my invitation anywhere in the world is to bring your art form to some of the topics in my nonprofit happiness data, or to create new content of your own to share and make that available for other artists to collage with. And by collage, I mean one person might edit it, one person might create a shorter version, one person might dance to it, one person might write a poem, one person might subscript it, play, riff, rap, dance with the general theme of well-being, looking for points of convergence, integration, integrity in between all the different senses, and a media product. And so to participate in this project, you can explore the domain of happiness data. You can generate content. You can pick a video of mine and freely work with it. So the guidelines that I and we all work within is free to use with credit for any nonprofit project that's for generating human well-being. And so if I've got a sentence or something that you want to mix in with one of your videos, go ahead. If it's for helping facilitate human well-being. You can collaborate any way you want with these different mixes. It's not a closed system of kind of autocratic control. If someone is inspired to write a rap or a poem about your drawing, they do, and they can blend them together, and an editor can play with them to see what comes up, with the idea that there's not just one right way, but that art is the process of continually generating infinite ways. So you can collaborate any way you want, available for sampling, and to sample is, I guess, the key thing. When you submit something, it's available for others to sample, and what they submit is available for sampling as well. And so there can be many versions of a project, because you like this version and they like this version, and they like getting away from the kind of the bigotry of the one way. And so you could kind of imagine if your favorite movies were non-copyrighted, in the sense that someone could say, no, Leia shouldn't say this in Star Wars. She should, and they can play that out and edit their version of Star Wars. It brings life and personality, to the issue. So you can upload something in the link below at any point around this, and you can also partner, in dialogue, and fill out, a partnering form below. And I also wanted to say, I'm in one of my 2 Thai apartments. This is where I do the art and stuff. And, and I'll just give you a little bit of a quick tour of the room here. So we have the largest Buddha in Thailand up out that window. And, this is the backdrop. Over here, I make notes. Sometimes I'll make videos on this whiteboard. It's huge. It's the biggest they make them. And, if I want to kind of glance off to the left to keep on point, it's great for note taking. And, this is, where I do painting and stuff like that. Next door is a 1-bedroom, very basic apartment, little shower, little Thai cook stove, 2 fridges because they're small, and we, paintings and stuff all over there. Along with, there's this wonderful Thai artist I really like, so I have a number of his works, in that room. And so if you want to do a 30 to 60 day internship where you'd like to stay in the apartment and work 4 hours a day or more on this kind of project, you can apply. And there's also, for those who do that and it's a good fit, we can look at a 1-year internship with, we can work out the mix. Because I'm currently the only funder of my nonprofit, I have quite limited funds, but I donate about 6 months of the year in time, to this project. So you're joining me in that goal. And income with art is tough. I don't make any money. I spend money to do my art in this sense of nonprofit. But it is possible, and I'm interested in making it more possible. But one way that you can seek funding for something you want to do is you can write a nonprofit grant for me to submit as the chairman of Happiness Data that has a role for you in it. So you can write a grant and I'll submit it. If Happiness Data gets the grant, you get the money to use per the description in the grant so that it has integrity with the purpose of the grant. You can get sponsorship on YouTube for certain projects. And if we're in certain circumstances, I can do a $200 a month stipend. I also have a house in San Francisco that, when I'm in Thailand, that's available. And so that, that's a $4,000 a month, heaven with crystals and art and, a nice film setup. And both places have 100 megabyte per second upload speeds, which is really important for uploading video. And we do a cloud-based, WeVideo cloud-based program so that you don't have to download terabytes of data onto your laptop. You can edit and upload your bit and edit certain videos in the cloud and then publish them as your version, of something. And I'm focusing a lot on traumatic repair, sexual abuses, cult design, housing and homelessness, things like that, because, if a culture is intelligent, it deals with survival and security of each of its people first. Then it moves on to love and belonging. And we don't have survival and security for a lot of children, a lot of things. So that obviously is a symptom of a lack of intelligence, a lack of empathy, a lot of traumatic awareness. So I do a lot of work with that. And so anyway, I look forward to connecting with more artists and seeing your version of this kind of domain, this language in your art form.